Living things and non-living things. We see many things around us and the planet we live, from mountains to oceans, from plants to animals. There are many things in our surrounding which can be categorized into two, that is, living things and non-living things. Let us see some pictures. Animals, trees, birds, fish, human being. They all come under the living thing. And book, car, chair, ball, rock. They all come under the non-living things. Human beings, animals, and plants comes under the living things category because they have life. Whereas the things like book, ball, pencil, car, house, etc. comes under the non-living things category as they don't have life. Some of the natural things are also called non-living things like sun, stars, moon, water and rock. Now let us see some of the characteristics of the living things. Living things can grow. A seed grows into a plant which finally grows into a tall, strong tree. The same way, a baby grows into a child, then into an adult, and finally an old person. A puppy grows into a dog. Living things can move. Human beings and animals move with the help of their legs, whereas fish swim in water to move, and birds fly using their wings. As plants cannot move, they move in the direction of the sun. Example, sunflower faces the sun and moves in the direction of the sunlight. Living things can feel. They can feel and have emotions. They are sensitive to various touch like hot and cold. Living things can breathe. Human beings and animals breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide using their lungs. Whereas plants inhale carbon dioxide from the surrounding and exhale oxygen. Living things can reproduce. Reproduction is the process by which living things give birth to their young one of their own kind. A dog gives birth to puppies. Birds lay eggs, and the young ones hatch out from these eggs. Human beings give birth to their babies. Living things need food and water to survive. Human beings depend on plants and animals for their food, whereas animals either depend on plants or other animals for their food. Plants make their own food by using air, water, and sunlight. Living things die. After completing their lifespan, living things die. Whether it's a plant, whether it's a human being, or an animal. They have a particular lifespan to live. Now let us focus on the characteristics of non-living things. Children, look at this image. It's a mug and it's a non-living thing. Now let us see the characteristics of a non-living thing. It cannot move, it cannot grow, it cannot breathe, it cannot feel, it cannot reproduce, they do not need food to survive, they never dies, they either breaks or gets damaged. Now let us see the difference once again to revise. Living things and non-living things. Living things. They can grow, they can move, they can feel, they can breathe, they can reproduce, they need water and food to survive, they die. Whereas non-living things, they can
of things is important? Yes, it helps us to organize things, track, and compare different things. Do you know there are millions of different plant species on Earth? Have you ever wondered how difficult it would be for a scientist to study each of them? While all plants have similar parts of plants that are essential for its living, but often they look different. These differences are used to group plants into different types. While there are many ways to study plant classification, one way is to group them based on their sizes. We see a lot of plants around us. Some plants are big and strong. Some plants are small and weak. Trees are big plants. They are quite strong. They have many branches and strong woody stems. Shrubs are smaller than trees. They also have many branches and woody stems. Herbs are small plants with soft and green stems. They are smaller than shrubs. Climbers and creepers are also small plants. Stems of these plants are very weak. Climbers stand erect with the help of another plant or object, whereas creepers do not stand erect. Creepers crawl along the ground. Another classification can be based on where they live. Classification system is very useful. It is used by people in different kinds of work. Scientists classify plants to help explain relationships of different species.
Habitat is the place where plant live is called its habitat. Now habitat can be terrestrial or aquatic. Terrestrial means the plants which grow on land. It can be deserts, mountains, grasslands, etc. And aquatic means the plants which grows in water. Their habitat can be ponds, river, lakes, ocean, etc. You know the terrestrial plants, like you can see in my video slide, the image of the terrestrial plants and aquatic plants are given. The terrestrial plants like rose, tulsi, mango, neem, and aquatic plants like water lily, duckweed, lotus, etc. So these were the some of the terrestrial and aquatic plants. Now we'll see about the types of plants on the basis of habitat. Means this on the basis of natural habitat, plants have been classified into 3 categories. But in this class today we will learn about 4 categories. And the 4th category is not given in your textbook. But you can just have the information and knowledge about it. You will learn that 4th category in the higher classes. So let us learn about these categories on basis of the natural habitat of the plants. So plants are classified. So let's see into three types. In your textbook it is given in three categories, that is mesophytes, xerophytes and hydrophytes. But I will also give you information about the fourth type, that is helophytes. Okay, now first we'll see what is mesophyte. Mesophytes means plants in areas with adequate water. Means adequate means sufficient water, and they need moderate amount of water supply for their survival. They have medium sized root and bear normal green leaves. This mesophyte, they require an environment, it is neither too wet nor too dry. Then water loss from stomata is matched by the water gain from the environment. And in winter these plants shed their leaves. Like you have learnt about perennials and annuals. Perennials survive in unfavorable conditions by dying down and surviving underground, and annuals survive as dominant seed. This is not given in your textbook, but this is some extra information which I am giving you. So what are mesophytes? Mesophytes are the plants that grow on land and need moderate amount of water supply for their survival. They have medium sized root and bear normal green leaves. And examples of mesophytes are mango tree, apple tree, etc. These all plants come into these categories. Now we come to the next type, that is hydrophytes. What are hydrophytes? Hydrophytes are the plants need maximum amount of water. Hydro means water. So water growing plant, aquatic plants. So they grow only in water. So they need lot of maximum amount of water. Hence they grow in water. They can grow wholly or partly submerged in water, like lotus, water lily, duckweed. The stems and leaves have little to no cuticle outer waxy layer of the leaf, as they do not need to conserve water, so that they can float easily on water. And they have either very small roots or no roots at all. They bear leaves coated with the thin film. This film helps to protect them in water also and float them in water. Some examples of hydrophytes are lotus, water lily, hydrilla, etc. Now we come to the next type, that is helophytes, but this is not given in your textbook and no need to learn now. This you will learn in higher classes. This is just for your information. Like you have already seen mangroves. Mangroves grow near sea water or where there is water, but salt tolerant means they can also resist salt. They can grow in salt water because salty water means near sea. So they can grow very nicely near sea because they can consume salt and store water in special tissues. They have got some special tissues in which they store water, and tissues has lots of air spaces, so they can breathe. Some can excrete salt through special glands or by dropping yellowish leaf where salt has been accumulated. Means if more amount of salt, excess salt becomes, the leaves will drop down, and this will remove the extra salt from their plant or trees. Many are water retaining plants and some are water retaining plants, means they absorb water. As I told you, they store water in their special tissues. So this you will learn about. Example is mangrove, right? You will learn in higher classes. Okay, now we come to the next, which is given in your textbook, that is xerophytes. Xerophytes grow in hot, dry environments. Therefore they have adapted to conserve water and to prevent leaf temperature from rising too much. That means these plants grow in desert. They get the temperature of desert. They need very small amount of water. Xerophytes needs very small amount of water for their survival, and they have long roots which go deep into the ground. They go deep into the ground because what is there underground? Water. So they take water from there, and they bear thin and spiny leaves which help them to minimize the water loss. You have already learned about the cactus. Cactus is the example of this. Babool, cactus, etc. They grow in desert. So they need their leaves only, their stem only store water, and they minimize water loss. So they store water, and so there is no loss of water. Hence they can grow in desert where they require very small amount of water. Sometimes if you don't even water them, then also they will grow because they have stored water in them. So these type of plants are called xerophytes. So I hope you have understood about this all. What are mesophytes, xerophytes and hydrophytes? Once again, let us recall what is mesophyte. The mesophytes are plants which need moderate amount of water and they grow they have very medium sized roots and normal green roots. Hydrophytes, they grow.
Based on living habitat, animals are classified into 4 groups. They are aquatic animals, terrestrial animals, arboreal animals, and amphibians. Animals that live in water are called aquatic animals. Example: fishes, turtles and seahorses, etc. Animals that live on land are called terrestrial animals. Example: lions, tigers, elephants, and goats. Animals that spend most of their time on trees are called arboreal animals. Example: monkey, koalas, chameleons, pandas, tree frogs, snakes, lizards, etc. Animals that can live on land and in water are called amphibians. Example: frog and salamanders. If you like this video, please click on subscribe button and don't forget to like, comment or share. After subscribing, click on the bell icon to get the alerts about new videos on this channel.